Chapter 3, Section 6, we are adding and subtracting fractions with like and unlike denominators. Please ask me for the cheat sheet on fractions. It just goes over the different steps on the 4 different operations with fractions. Good to have in your notebook, just to look back if you forget which step you need to do next. You do not need your textbook for Chapter 3, Section 6. We are just going to do some practice problems in your red notebook. So you need to write these down in your red notebook. If you don't have that, pause the video and get it. In your notebook, write down problem number 1, 1/2 plus 1/3. I like to write them vertical. You can write them horizontal if it makes more sense to you. First thing you need to do is copy the problem down. Step 2, find the common denominator. The least common denominator for 2 and 3 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Whatever I do to the bottom, I got to do to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Multiply the 1 by 3. I have common denominators of 6. Add my numerators. 3 plus 2 is 5. 1/2 plus 1/3 is 5/6. I can't reduce that. 2/3 plus 3/5. Copy the problem down. Step 2, common denominator. Common denominator of 3 and 5 is 15. You can always get a common denominator by multiplying them together. It won't always be the least, but it will be common. So if you get stuck and you can't think the least common multiple, basically, just multiply them together. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. Common denominator is 15. 10 plus 9 is 19. 19/15. We're going to simplify that. 15 goes into 19 one time. I have 4 left over because 19 minus 15 is 4. Denominator stays the same. Number 3, 1/5 plus 2/10. Common denominator could be 50. But always check to see if the small one goes into the big one, and it does. That way you can save it. Mrs. Morgan says hi. Okay, so the common denominator is 10. The 2/10 does not change. I multiply the 5 by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Oops, yep. 2/10 plus 2/10 is 4/10. They're both even. I can divide them by 2. That equals 2/5. All right. Let's go jump down to number 5. Let's just do an examples here. 3/4 plus 1/5. Let's change this. Let's make it minus 1/5 because it's the same. You just got to subtract your numerators. So first thing you need to do is find common denominators, which would be 20. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. 1 times 4 is 4. Whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. 4 times 5 is 20. So 3 times 5 is 15. We are subtracting. Watch your signs. 15 minus 4 would be 11. 11/20 is the answer. Let's do number 7, 3/5, but let's change it to a subtraction problem. 3/5 minus 2/10. Denominator is 10 because 5 goes into 10. I'm just going to use that. So I just got to copy my bottom fraction. It's not your bell every time. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. 6/10, take away 2/10 gives me 4/10. I can reduce that to 2/5. That is all that is in this section. It's just adding and subtracting fractions. Change your denominators, don't forget to reduce. Work on the practice packet once you are finished with this video. Good job.